All right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. A good bit to dive into and discuss of what's going on in the world of ALGS and Apex Legends esports in general, because not only do we have some updates regarding tournaments, but we also have roster updates that we need to make mention of in today's video. A little bit of, well, a shocker, I guess, because of a change happened, but some of you guys are definitely not going to think that this one's a shocker at all. We also got some updates regarding the hacking situation. The hacker has now come out and spoke multiple times to not only the anti-cheat police department, but also TechCrunch as well. So once again, a lot to dive into and discuss. Like the video, subscribe if you guys want to stay up to date with what's going on in the world of Apex Legends esports news. And let's dive into it. First, I wanted to mention Twitch Rivals was announced recently, earlier today, or actually the day before you're watching this. But I honestly am just not 100% sure that this is going to take place March 29th, 2 p.m. PT. I just don't know. Obviously, we still are waiting for some sort of a response coming from EA and Respawn regarding the future of their game and if we're actually going to be able to get something returning soon. Like, are we going to get ALGS back soon? How long do we have to wait? When are they finally going to say that it is safe to play? They still have not done so yet. And we know that EA is going to have to make a public statement to their shareholders as well, their investors, because there's money to be lost here. How many people uninstalled their game? How many people, didn't want to put in their credit card information anymore? And I don't blame them either. So there's still a lot more to dive into before I think things go back to normal. And it's unfortunate because I tweeted out earlier, although this is big news, it's getting kind of annoying. And I just want to go back to normal at this point and get back into the action and see what's going on. It's crazy how big it's getting though, because this was actually on Reddit. There is like a full-blown like segment on a real televised station regarding what in the world's going on in Apex. And it's just crazy to see how big this stuff is getting. And also we saw that TechCrunch did an interview yesterday. I also made mention of this as well, of the anti-cheat police department and the conversations that they have. Basically, the anti-cheat police department said that this hacker told them, he said he didn't want to go necessarily into exactly how he performed this hack, but one thing he did mention was that they made a big ruckus in Apex. If anyone's interested, no viruses will be uploaded for usual and streamer players as well, because we are jokers, not clowns. Viruses are bad and harmful, and one can easily get into trouble because of them. So basically saying they did not do this with malintent, and of course that's up for you to decide whether or not you believe these guys or not. But TechCrunch also said that they interviewed them, and he basically said, I really don't want to go into details until everything is fully patched and everything goes back to normal, the hacker said. But he said it had nothing to do with the server, and I've never touched anything outside of the Apex process. And he did not hack the two players' computers directly. The hacks never went outside the game, he said. They know how to patch it without anyone reporting it to them. And talking about the hacks, he also said that he went viral, but not many people would have used an exploit like that in absolutely innocent way for players. Just imagine if it wasn't a joke and we didn't put any memes in the cheat. I'm pretty sure you can ruin someone's career if they had a cheat pop up on a tournament, said Destroyer 2009. And honestly, I do think he's right. And then they go on to say that obviously, like we've kind of already mentioned it as well from other sources and the other tweet as well, that there was only an intent, he says, of it being fun. Basically, it was like more of a pleasure thing for them, which is just crazy to think that how much power these guys had. Now, a lot of people were talking about the Call of Duty cheat interwebs that was apparently used a lot, receiving a cease and desist. Now, this was coming from the Call of Shame YouTube channel, and they are trying to do this coverage on Apex Legends and make all these correlations, and I don't really know how much I would believe a lot of that stuff, but it is true interwebs did receive some sort of cease and desist, but I think it's from Activision, not necessarily EA. And this was crazy timing though, because of all this stuff going down in Apex. I think in general, people are trying to crack down on these things because there is a lot of money lost here for EA, and they have to respond to a lot of their shareholders and a lot of the people involved in this. And it's going to suck. It's going to really suck for EA. So I could not imagine that everybody obviously now is thinking we have got to get serious about the cheating situation. And it's long overdue, man. We have been so overdue for all of this. One thing you could probably say that's a positive is the Apex viewership has gone skyrocketing crazy over this stuff, man. I mean, seriously, every single video we've uploaded has been an amazing amount of traffic, and it is good coverage, and I'm glad to be able to bring you guys the news, but this is not necessarily news that we always want to cover here, and hopefully we do get back in a positive way eventually somewhere down the line. Now let's talk about roster updates, man. If you guys are a fan of Apex Legends esports, you know that there is one player who is always making a roster change, and I love him, and I really hope the best for him. I am not sending hate here at all, but my man Albralelie has once again made another roster change after recently, of course, saying that he was stepping away from competitive. Again, now I saw Tech had posted, obviously, Meat Lovers player, which top 5 underrated controller demon is up next, asking for research purposes, and I'm like, wait a second. You know, they just had Albralelie come on board. Is Awan's leaving, or what's going on with Awan's? Well, no, that doesn't seem to be the case. It's Albralelie who seems to be leaving, and this was the Challenger Circuit roster that we saw. This was the Challenger Circuit roster for the Stallions for Albralelie, Retzi, and Jay, and I just was not expecting Mac to make another roster change this soon, especially after just recently playing with a Meat Lover. So it looks like Tech is going back again after possibly losing Albralelie to have to redo all of it again. Unfortunate, unfortunate, unfortunate. So basically, if you guys don't remember, Mac ended up leaving Skirt after some unfortunate sets of events inside of Pro League. They didn't qualify to go into the regional finals. They didn't have a good showing inside of Pro League as well. So Albralelie basically said he was going to be stepping away from competitive. Well, then 2 weeks later, he's coming back in the competitive, and it looked like he was playing with Meat Lovers, and he was doing so as well. And so he had to come to defend himself on Twitter as well. Say what you guys want. I don't really care anymore. A good opportunity popped up for me to stay on MNK with an IGL, and so I gave it a shot. Not reading anything because everybody's obviously going to have their own opinion on it. But he did say, in fairness, this was just a trial. He wasn't necessarily going to Meat Lovers. He was just trialing for Meat Lovers. And so that basically makes his roster change more officially Skirt to this new roster over at the Stallions, not necessarily Skirt to Meat to Stallions, because you could argue that he wasn't really on Meat. It was just a trial to begin with. So that's just the update of what's the latest on Albralelie. But man, it just seems like roster changes are ever so happening. And here we go with another one, not a roster change, but a roster update. You love to see this. Nicewig, Minus Tempo, and Doki Bird are going to be playing in the Challenger Circuit. I love to see this. I love Nicewig getting involved in this. Obviously, he's got a lot of viewers. It's kind of like the Nick Merckx type of thing where like you're a big streamer and everybody thinks you're, you know, maybe good enough to compete at that level. But obviously, Nicewig is not necessarily as polished as all these other pros, but he's still really good. You know, he can do it. So he's got that backing behind him. And it's going to be a very interesting sight to see Nicewig back in this stuff. And I can't wait to watch it as well. So really nice to see more players getting proactive inside the community. Lastly, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. The Oversight Esports put out that the Nessie Cup, of course, has been postponed as well. This kind of takes it back to the Twitch Rivals. I do not think Twitch Rivals is going to possibly happen this 29th. I think it could very well get postponed because EA has got to make an announcement first before these guys start going crazy on these tournaments again. But as of right now, they basically said we are postponing this. It was to March 28th. So maybe. Obviously, this was supposed to take place sooner. And if they're looking at the 29th for Twitch Rivals, the 28th for the Nessie Cup already, maybe they actually have heard better information. So we'll actually see. Maybe we are back to normal in about a week's time. I'm for it. And obviously, I'm not hoping for bad news any longer. Hopefully, we get back to normal soon. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all things going on in the world of Apex Legends esports. And until the next time, we will see you all later, Gators.